In December last year, a Dairy Queen in Minnesota had a historic Pay It Forward event. I wonder if you heard about this on the news. It started with one elderly man who offered to pay for the car behind him, and the car behind him offered to pay for the one behind them, and the next few cars followed suit, and it kept going and going and going, and it spanned more than 900 cars over 2.5 days. An employee said it was incredible to see what was happening, especially with how COVID impacted our restaurant. I think it helped the whole community. Now, we can all agree that kindness breeds more kindness. Technically speaking, this is called the Law of Reciprocity, a social norm of responding to a good deed with one of your own. If we lived under this way of life, people would be nicer and more cooperative. Now, this may seem like an obvious concept. Be nice to nice people. But I wonder about the ramifications of this being misused and if we're holding up our side of the bargain. An example I remember is when we moved into our first house, a 90-year-old neighbor brought us a freshly baked homemade pie. I think it was pecan, which isn't even my favorite, and my wife wouldn't touch it, but the smell alone was glorious. Now, there was another house further down the street that I didn't even know who lived there for years. So when I'm driving home at night, whose house do I glance at just to check on things? Where do we stop and chat when we're walking down the sidewalk? Which one knows that there's a neighbor just across the street who can move a chair across their living room for them when they need it? In 1971, a psychologist, Dennis Reagan, tested the concept of reciprocity in a study where participants thought that they were in an art appreciation experiment. And for some, he would bring them a complimentary soda, and for others, he didn't. And then at the end, asked if they would purchase a raffle ticket. And the ones where he did not bring them a soda, they purchased a ticket only based on if they liked him personally or not. The ones where he did bring a soda, they all purchased a raffle ticket, giving the conclusion that they all felt socially obligated to respond in kind. Now, the whole in this concept is fake kindness. People using the law of reciprocity in selfish ways. Now, I was a salesman at one time, and I hated every minute of it. I just felt like I was manipulating people every day. Now, hopefully we can all tell a sleazy salesperson from an honest one. A sleazy salesperson is being nice to you only to get more sales. An honest one wants what's best for you. I've had so many times where I've had a feeling of buyer's remorse based only on how I felt about the salesperson and nothing to do with the product itself. Another misuse of this law is we have a tendency sometimes to show kindness, but then hold expectations like grudges, waiting for the person to give back. Now, we went to their baby shower, but did they come to our baby shower? No. See, the fact is that people should or might respond in kind. So maybe calling it a law isn't accurate. By definition, it has to be optional. Otherwise, it's simply a bartering system. But the beauty of it is that it almost always works. It's that sometimes so extremely powerful. So powerful that it doesn't even have to be directly aimed at you. Simply witnessing an act of kindness encourages behavior. A common occurrence lately is GoFundMe accounts. The public will see a heartwarming news story, and someone will create a GoFundMe account for the person that was featured, raising thousands of dollars by strangers all over the country, and no one had kindness directed at them, but they gave anyway. And my first question for you is, are you the kind of person who gives back? Are you fulfilling your half of the law of reciprocity? Think back to the last time someone was kind to you. Have you responded in kind, either to them or paid it forward? The second question, the law of reciprocity requires someone to initiate the cycle. Are you the selfless person to initiate acts of kindness? Not with an expectation to receive something in return, but only to put it out there and maybe encourage kind behavior in any form. Are you the first car in the line at Dairy Queen? The one that initiates? Are you one of the cars in the middle, inspired by the act and keep it going? Or the last car, unwilling to pay it forward? If you would rather live in a world of reciprocity instead of one of self-interest, then remember to respond when something good happens to you and find opportunities to initiate the cycle. The power of kindness is so strong, you might not even know that there are 900 cars in line behind you, waiting to be inspired by what you did.